This episode of Josh's Car Corner is going to be the most important episode I ever do on the GTO. And I'm serious. So when I say the most important episode ever on the GTO, I don't mean specifically my GTO, but all of the imported GTOs from 2004 to 2006. See, next year, the newest of the GTOs are going to turn 20 years old. Now, we all see on the Facebook posts that every day another one gets sold or gets bought because they just want the engine and the drivetrain out of it, and then there's all these shells laying around. This is the perfect time to grab up an empty shell or to grab a GTO and turn it into some kind of a project car for yourself, be it a drag and drive car or a weekend track monster or just a weekend drag racer or just a fun car. There is no better time. Now, why do I think this? There's a couple of reasons. So first of all, I think these cars are a crossover between a classic muscle car and a modern muscle car. They have just enough technology in them to keep you from killing yourself because they have ABS and traction control, but they're not so technological inside that they've got dozens of different little computers controlling every little thing and hundreds of wires going all over the place, making them a wiring nightmare. They're right in the middle. They're very easy to work on. The engine bays are actually pretty wide open compared to most modern cars. And in terms of comfort and handling and what you get for amenities, they're pretty well set up from the factory. The other thing is the shells themselves can be had for not a lot of money these days. You can get a decent shell most of the time for $3 to $5 grand. And they lend themselves to a lot of different engine and drivetrain combinations because the engine bay is so wide open. And actually, as we found out in the past couple of years, the trans tunnels are pretty wide open. They can hold a lot of different transmissions without having to pound them out or modify them in any way. But the biggest barrier to entry has always been the computers themselves. The E40 has just always been limited and it can only do basically what the cars originally were designed to come with. But if you have been watching Josh's Car Corner the past few years, you would know that my GTO is currently running on an E38 computer, the same computer that came in the G8 and the Caprice PPV cop car and the SS. So when I had converted my car 3 years ago, what I had found out is that in the very last months that they were producing the VZ platform, Holden was using a Gen 4 6-liter V8, which was kind of a cousin to the L76 that ended up in the G8s. And that needed an E38 computer to run it because it used the 58X crank sensor and the 4X cam gear. So in order to use that in my car, I did have to take the engine out, switch the crank gear, switch the cam gear, change a couple of sensors, rewire the whole harness to accept the connectors for the E38. And my car for the last 3 years has been running flawlessly on an E38 computer with an OS from a late production VZ Holden. Now, I knew when I did that, I was opening the window to the possibility of being able to control other transmissions with that computer. Now, what happened is when Project Crewman started, I thought that was the ECU I was going to use. Turns out there was an even better way to go. I ended up meeting a guy from Perth, Australia. He's now a good friend of mine named Torcup, and he does all kinds of crazy ECU hacking and has been doing it for years. And he actually had the first VZ Ute in the world that was running with a 6L80. And he and I worked together on my car to generate a custom OS out of a 2011 Caprice PPV cop car and make it work with the factory gauge cluster and the body control module and the powertrain interface module and the ABS. And the last few months, if you've been watching Project Crewman, you would know my Crewman has been running around flawlessly with a 6L80 transmission and all the factory stuff inside works. I've even got tap shift going because I got myself an SV6 steering wheel from a Holden Commodore. So that opened up another option for putting all kinds of different engines and transmissions in these cars, because with that computer, you can drop any Gen 4 V8 in one of these cars now and you don't have to change anything. So you can go get an LS3 or an LS7 or an LSA, L92, L76. You don't have to worry about a Lingenfelter box. You don't have to worry about changing cam gears and crank gears. Just go get the motor and drop it in and start doing your mods and you are good to go. But say 6 gears isn't enough for you. Is there something else you could do? Well, as a matter of fact, there is. I have a buddy living in Michigan named Kevin Schaefer who has basically the same GTO as mine, except his was a 4L60 delivered car. Well, he really wanted to put a Hellcat 8-speed in his car, so he got his hands on this goofy controller from Europe, who the designer claimed would work with the factory computer, and it never did. So in an effort to get that controller working, I helped him convert his car to an E38 and use the same operating system that I was using in my car. His car is now the second E38 powered VZ Coupe in the world. Now, unfortunately, he never got that controller working, but what he could do is get the controller that is made by Turbo Lamic out of Illinois, which controls a Hellcat transmission perfectly. So he now has, as far as I know, the first 8-speed GTO in the country that's still using a factory ECU and not some aftermarket jobber. And he has so many options available to him with that transmission. So let me give you a rundown of what the 8 HPs are capable of. Factory built-in trans brake on first and second gear. They have the quickest shifting of any automatic out there. They can handle tons and tons of torque, as the Hellcats have proven. They're dead nuts reliable, and they came in so many different cars that you don't even have to pull one out of a Dodge if you don't want to. There are so many other cars. My wife's BMW has that transmission. All kinds of European cars used it. It is just an amazing transmission, and to my mind, it's the best automatic transmission in the world. But say 8 gears isn't enough for you. Is there another way you could go? Well, actually, there is. There's a guy down in Texas who runs a company called Powertrain Swap Solutions. He has built a controller so you can take a 10L80 or a 10L90 out of one of the brand new trucks or Corvettes or Camaros that's running around and throw that in a GTO, and it even works with the factory E40 computer. So you don't even need to do an ECU swap. You just got to get the transmission, which, by the way, once again, fits in the tunnel, no modifications necessary, and you can start running your GTO around with 10 gears. Now, I don't know if those transmissions have factory trans brake built into them, but we know they can handle a ton of power because they were in ZL1s and Corvettes and all sorts. So it's another way you can go. So in terms of transmissions, you have so many more possibilities now than you would have had even a year ago. Now, keen observers may have spotted that I didn't say anything about the 04 GTOs, and there's a very good reason for that. The 04 GTOs are a 1-year only kind of special thing. They don't use the same computers as the 05 and the 06 GTOs. They use the older P59 engine control unit, which uses the 2 big, long 80-pin connectors. And as a result of that, it doesn't have a CAN network on it that's the same as the 05, 06 cars. It uses a different powertrain interface module, and while the body control module looks the same, it uses older, different software. Unfortunately, it means you don't have the same transmission options with an 04. The only one that is available to you is to get the TCM 2650 controller from Zero Gravity Performance in Arizona. That will allow you to control a 6L80 because that controller allows you to put a 6L80 into anything and control it. Now, that controller costs $1,000, but unfortunately, that is the only option available to you in the 04 because there's no big aftermarket demand to develop controllers and things to adapt that car to put different transmissions in them. Now, you might be saying to yourself, okay, Josh, you can put all kinds of different LS engines in the car now. You can put all different transmissions in the car now. The rear ends are still really weak, aren't they? Well, you're technically right. I mean, it's a 7 3/4 inch ring gear. It was never designed for massive amounts of power. Honestly, you'd be hard pressed to make a car go under 10 seconds on the drag strip with a factory IRS, but that doesn't mean they can't be toughened up. For example, mine's got the billet stub axles. It's got the G-Force CV axles on it. So that in its own has strengthened it up, and it'll handle all the power that I will ever throw at it. Now, if that's not enough for you, the next step, if you want to go sub 10s, would be to get a 9-inch IRS. Or if you don't want to hassle with the IRS at all, you can go ahead and get a solid rear axle kit. There are companies that make solid rear axle kits for these cars now. So if you just want like a drag and drive car that can go stupid fast and run 9s or 8s, you can still totally do it. But what if you don't want that? What if you want like a autocross car, a time attack machine, or a track car? The Brembo Big Brake Kit, I've got it on this thing. You can get that. There are still tons of suspension options out there for these things. 3 or 4 companies I can think of off the top of my head that do coilover kits. You can still get the Petters, the BC, the Tyne set out of Australia. I think King makes a setup. You have tons of options. There's tons of bushing options. There's a couple of sway bar options out there still. BMR, I think, even still makes the subframe connector kit to tie the whole car together. You can get like the AGI bar that goes behind the seat so you can have a kind of a roll bar hoop and a place to attach shoulder harnesses. Or there are a couple companies in the States that are making prefabbed roll cages for these things, where they'll just send you all the bars and you weld them together. You can either get a 10-second cage or an 850 cage, or you can still get all the parts to soften them down and make just a factory, weekend drive around car and really make them docile. You can, if you've got like a junk interior, still plenty of places to get nice parts to tart one back up and make it nice. If you just want to ride comfortably, you can still get factory springs, factory bushings, factory struts. I know you can get NOS factory struts because I got some for the Crewman. They're sold right here in Wisconsin. You can still put great stereos in them if you just want a nice ride. You can put different seats in them. I mean, I got these Brom racing seats in the GTO now. They fit beautifully. I got myself some factory manual seat frames out of Australia, got rid of the weight of the motors and everything, saved a couple pounds, and they're just as comfortable as the factory seats. So you have seat options, you have steering wheel options. This is an HSV closed bore steering wheel that I've got, an HSV airbag, so you can get all kinds of kick-ass steering wheels for the cars still. If you want to go all out race, you don't want the factory gauge cluster, any of that stuff. I've got a buddy right now in South Carolina, Jeff Kukierski at South Coast Performance. He is working on a custom ECU and gauge cluster setup because he's got a wild GTO that started with basically the drivetrain out of a CTSV, and he's been hopping it up. And he's even coming up with a custom body control module that will integrate with that cluster. So that's another way you can go, just to make an all-out race car if you want, and just abandon all of the factory computers entirely. So if all of that wasn't enough, remember my buddy Torque Up down in Perth? Well, he's come up with another amazing milestone accomplishment. He just figured out how to get the E40 computer to control a 6L80 transmission. He's got it going right now in an HSV sedan that he is testing and working all of the kinks out of right now. But he has got it running, shifting perfectly, everything on the cluster works, all the gauges work, all the factory features work. It is an amazing accomplishment. The only thing right now, you can't see the ECU with HP tuners. Like if you do a read entire, you see the TCM, but you don't see the ECU. There's some sort of weird glitch going on there, but I'm sure he will figure it out. He's figured everything else out. Then all you need is a GTO 05 or 06 and just go get the parts you need, and you can put a 6L80 in your GTO. Now, if you want to do that, what do you need? Well, you need a different trans cross member. Unfortunately, there is a company here in the States that makes one. It's called G-Force, but it's not the G-Force that makes the stub axles and the updated CV shafts. It's a completely different company that makes a cross member. In fact, I have one right here that I'll show you a picture of. And it was designed for a Turbo 400, but I subsequently found out that with their transmission mount that comes with the kit, which can be moved back and forward 2 inches, it can also accommodate a 6L80 transmission just fine. You do need to lengthen the drive shaft about 6 inches. You would want to use a 2-piece drive shaft because I think a single-piece drive shaft extended that much more is just going to have all kinds of balance issues. So you definitely want to go 2-piece. Some 6L80 transmissions don't even have trans coolers. The lines are just looped internally, but you can put a cooler on them. I did put a cooler on the Crewman. You'd want to start with an automatic car because then you would have the shifter and the shift linkage, which can be modified to work with a 6L80 transmission. If you go back and watch the episodes of Project Crewman, you can see exactly how I did it. It's really not that hard at all. You would just have to change the wiring going down to the transmission, and I'm currently writing up a schematic on how you would take 06 or 05 GTO with the 4L60 and modify that wiring so it would be adaptable to a 6L80 transmission. And I have decided I'm going to start helping people do this. Not for free. My services aren't free. I'm going to charge some money, but I'm doing this in lieu of YouTube ads. You might have seen a couple months ago I said no more YouTube ads on the channel ever again. I am like you, I am absolutely fed up with YouTube ads. I don't want you to have to see that when you watch episodes of my show. But the money I get from helping people do conversions from now on, I'm going to put right back into the cars. So I can then give you more content for the show, and I can get these things up to a level I want to get them to. So I'm actually going to be helping a guy very soon here. His computers are on the way, but he's going to end up having the third GTO in the world with an E38 computer. So what he did is he went and got an L76 out of a G8, and he got himself another T56, and he was running kind of a piggyback system with both computers so the engine would run, and we're gonna get him all modified so he's got basically the same stuff I've got done with my harness, and he's gonna be doing it with one computer, the E38, and he's gonna have it running absolutely factory and everything's gonna work just fine. So now you can see what I'm talking about when I say the most important episode on the GTO ever. All of these options suddenly out there to give these cars a second lease on life, or to give you a way to just kind of bring them up to modern specs and do more things with them, because now you can do 6 L80s, ZF8 speeds, 10L and 10R transmissions if you really want. And I just realized too, you could go get an LT motor, a Gen 5 motor, because now there are companies out there that make kits so you can remove the direct injection off of the Gen 5 motors, and they use the same cam gears and the same crank gears as a Gen 4 motor would, and then you just got to put a Gen 4 top end on them. And from what I understand, the LT blocks actually have a better oiling system on them than the LS's do, so it makes them even more adaptable to really high horsepower applications. All these things you can do in 2026 with these cars, and if you are a fan of these cars like I am, I think it's worthwhile to go find one and turn it into something. If you want to convert one of these or do something special like that, reach out. I'll be happy to help you out. And I do have some things to do on the GTO over the winter, and you will see that too. It's going to be a little while, but it will happen. So thanks again for watching this episode of Josh's Car Corner. I'll see you next year.